This training session is around your life audit. It's one of the most powerful things I ever went through with my own coach, which was 5-6 years ago. And it's something I take my clients through. However, I want to give it to as many people as possible because you will find it really, really beneficial. So please watch all the way through to the end. And if you found it useful, if you're on my YouTube channel, please subscribe to more because I'm going to keep doing these training videos to help you to move out of burnout because it is a passion of mine because of my own journey and now what I do for a living. So what is a life audit? It's a way of understanding where you currently are in your life in various different categories. And those categories I'll talk about in a second, and then where you want to be. And then we're looking for the biggest misalignment between your current state and where you want to get to, because the bridge between the two is what we need to work on. Because let me be honest, most people who are burnt out, it's not because you're lazy, far from it. You are super committed, you are high performing individuals, but when you start getting misaligned in your life and you do nothing about it, that spiral, that wormhole that you end up getting into gets deeper and deeper and deeper. So we need to understand how we get ourselves back to where we need to get to. When you take this life audit, there are some core principles. First of all, you've got to be brutally honest. You are not here to impress anyone. This is about you and yourself. So you have to ask yourself a certain amount of questions, but there's no point putting the numbers in that actually aren't true. Where do you get those answers from? Your gut and your soul. And when you understand those questions, it's about being honest, as I said. And they are, how happy are you? How contented are you in those parts of your life? And really, where are you aligned? How are you aligned to those various parts of your life? And you have to be honest here because it's not about having a perfect score. It's about finding where those gaps are with where you currently are and where you want to get to. And remember, it's about the small shifts. The small shifts that you take will be the ones that help you to move away from burnout. Because I can guarantee it's not about chasing hard and fast and gigantic rules when you are first starting your recovery. It's about taking it slow, methodical, and taking one step at a time. So the questions that you need to ask yourself when you start this process: how happy are you here right now? How well aligned am I to my values? And are those values really being honored in these different parts of my life? How contented are you? Your gut level. And then ask yourself, out of a scale of 1 to 10, 0 being low, 10 being high, how aligned you are to that number. Okay? There are 8 categories. You can make more and you can break some of these down. First of all is your work and your career. Fulfillment, personal growth. Those are the things, those purpose, that's what you're really looking for. Finances, security, freedom, stability. Get my words out. Finances, security, freedom, finances, your security, freedom, and your stability that you get from it. Friends and family, the connections, the trust, the quality in your relationships. Then you're looking for your personal development. How are you actually growing as an individual? Are you really getting the most out of your knowledge and growing into the person that you want to be? Your partner and your relationships. How aligned are you? How happy are you in these relationships, your personal life? And where are you feeling that commitment, that level of commitment and contentedness? Then we got our health and our self-care. Are you really looking after yourself? You need to find those things, those energy, the sleep, your diet, your movement, the things that really help you to keep that energy source high. Your environment, your home, your workspace, your surroundings, the things that keep you centered. Are you really getting the most out of them? Are they making you happy? And the last one, your hobby and your interests. These are the things that give you that physical and mental health that you need. The things that light you up on a day-to-day basis. Creativity, joy, play, fun. These are so super important and get neglected time and time again. So again, just as a recap before I go into it, how you use it, 0 to 10, 0 being low, 10 being high, rate where you currently are. And then you've got to ask yourself, where do you want to get to? So when you go and answer those questions, you put it all down on a piece of paper, maybe on a Kindle, and I'll put the results up here to what I've done. I've just done a makeshift one just so you can see how it works. And all you do is you just go into the column A, where are you currently now? And then you put, where do you want to be? And as you can see over here, I create a graph that then shows you really where the misalignment really stems from. And that's what we need to work on, those gaps. And where we know those gaps are, that's where we want to start asking ourselves some questions. First of all, the biggest gaps. What is the highest priority out of all of them? You might have 3 or 4 where these categories are a bit misaligned, but what's the one that's really speaking to you? That's the one that you want to really focus on. And we need to start with that pain point, not the easy fix, the one that's going to move the needle the most. Then we need to start asking ourselves, what does that look like? For example, if it's work, do I need to explore a new role? Do I need a new side project? Do I need to start building some skill sets? Maybe it's your health. Then we need to start thinking about your sleep routine, your daily movement, what you're eating, what you're consuming. These are the things that will then give you those steps that you need to really start focusing on. Then you need to get specific. Your brain, my brain, all of our brains love specificity. Okay. What that means is, instead of going, I just want to lose 20 pounds, ask yourself, how are you going to do it? I'm going to get outside 6 o'clock every morning and I'm going to walk for 10 minutes. And I'm going to do that on a Monday, Wednesday, and a Friday. Those specifics will make it happen. Just going, I want to lose weight, that's just not going to do it. So you have to really start asking yourself how. Then you want to create accountability. When I work with my clients, I am their accountability partner, so I help them. But you can use friends or family members to keep you on task. Set a commitment. What do you really want? Then implementation. Get it on a calendar, put it on your to-do list, but make it happen. And then start taking those baby steps. Why are they baby steps? Because when you're burnt out, you do not want to be running before you can walk. You want to make it super simple so your brain doesn't resist it. You want to be able to do it in a way that makes you feel comfortable and lit up. And then we want to review the progress. The progress is so important. I always tell my clients, blow your own trumpet. Celebrate the wins. It doesn't matter if it was just something simple with, I got out of bed 10 minutes before I have been for the last 2-3 weeks. Maybe you've been laying in bed till 10 o'clock and you've got that to 10 to 10. Celebrate it, because your brain will love the reward. You'll get that dopamine hit. Instead of laying in bed scrolling and doom scrolling and not doing anything, you've taken action. And that is what we're looking for. And the more you can do that, the more momentum you can build. And let's be honest, momentum isn't what you're looking for. It is the discipline. So make it simple, achievable, and focused, because that is where you'll get it. And then keep revisiting. And now if you set health, for example, and you really start creating that momentum, and you know that finances, for example, were the other one that you wanted to concentrate on, start stacking them so you can get those wins. Hope you found that useful. I'm here if you want to ask any questions, stick it into the comments, send me a direct message, email me. There's lots of ways of getting in touch. Just ask the questions, because I'm here to help you. And as always, thank you very much for taking part.